All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 12:05 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. I'm Justin Bondietti, Grant Cardone, licensee, coming to you real quick to talk about the 10x rule. It's a book by Grant Cardone, 10x rule, and also too, I'll bring it to you 10x quotes by Grant Cardone. I like to grab this book and grab a quote out of here. Today we're talking about 10x priorities. 10x priorities. And I love this one because of two reasons. It talks about time, and it talks about excuses. Don't get hacked.ca. Hey, on Instagram. Thanks for joining, jumping in. Hey, so time and excuses. Now, when we're talking about time and excuses, there's a lot that comes to mind. First of all, a lot of people will tell other people, I don't have time. And then there's a lot of people that'll tell themselves, I don't have time. Both of which are excuses. I mentioned in one of my other videos that if you are telling yourself that you don't have time, specifically, Grant says it's a lie you're lying to yourself if you're saying I don't have time. What you're really saying is I don't know how to make time. I don't know how to fit this in. And so that's if there's something you want to do, right? Like there's lots of things that I want to do in life. And sometimes I have to prioritize. What it is I'm going to do because I tell myself I don't have time to do it all. And when I really boil that down, what that means to me on a like real personal level, outside of like my professional life and things like that, when I'm thinking about my kids, my family, or even me and my own personal development, I study in Cardone University all the time. I have a lot of things that I want to master this thing called sales. I want to help other people increase their income. I love sales. If you haven't heard in some of my other videos on why I love sales, it comes down to this: is you're helping people make a good decision. You're helping people make decisions that improve their lives, improve their situation, help them get to their goals, and you're part of that. I love helping people do that. So back to this thing. When I have too much going on, just like last night, I had so much going on yesterday. I have literally almost no white space on my calendar, and I have overlapping things going on. I don't have time, right? Mike Duffy, the nerd on Instagram. Hey, man, thanks for jumping in. Good to see you again. Appreciate it. Hey, so how do I handle that? Why am I saying I don't have time? So I'm not even saying you. I'm using myself today as an example of why I don't have time. I'm not using anybody theoretically out there. I'm saying I don't have time because I'm not sure how to make the time. Maybe I don't have the money or the resources to make the time. I don't have the resources. It doesn't always have to be money, but maybe I don't have a buddy or somebody I know that can go take care of this thing while I take care of this thing, right? For example, you have like Elon Musk out there, right? The dude's like amazing, doing all this crazy stuff. Whether you agree, disagree, whatever the case is, he does a lot. I mean, Jeff Bezos, like there's tons of people out there. Grant Cardone, they're all doing so much. If they were to try to do it by themselves, they would not have time. So like we got to understand that this thing that you tell yourself that I don't have time, really if you boil it down and you think about it, you're like, I don't really know how to create the time. I don't really know how to do it all. So 10x priorities, the 10x quote on here is make time, not excuses. Make time, not excuses. Amazing, those 4 words, just 4 words. And so many people look at it and go, oh, that's a great quote. Move on, right? No big deal. Not put much thought into it. But those two things, time and excuses, are often intertwined. I hear it all the time. People don't think they're making excuses when they're like, I don't have time. If you make time, your excuses are going away, right? Like, I'll make time for this. You're putting those excuses aside. So you're going to either have time, you're going to make the time, or you're going to make excuses. So you got to think about your priorities. But not getting into your goals, not getting into your priorities, your potential, things like that. I'm just going to focus on the time piece of this. So let's handle that the excuses, right? Let's handle that I don't have time excuse, and all the reasons why they're all legitimate. It all has to get done. But why is it that you have to do it? To think about, like, okay, it's an excuse because you have to physically do it. There are some things that I absolutely do not want other people doing for me. I have kids. I'm their dad. I'm their father. I will spend time with them. That time that I spend with them, nobody else is doing that. That's me. I personally need to be involved. I want to be involved. I make time to be involved. Right. So if I have work or other things that need to be done, that's going to take away from that priority, even though the work has to get done, because that's a priority as well. I can't say, oh, I'm just not going to do that. Like, it's not going to get done at all. That won't work. That's not going to get me to my goal. That's not going to, elevate my family, right? It's not going to provide for my family. So I need to be able to do both. So am I going to make time, or am I going to make excuses? Okay. So back to the 10X rule. Great book. There's so much more. There's so much more behind these 4 words in this. Make time, not excuses. So much more under that than just those 4 words. All right. So in the 10X rule, chapter 17, the myth of time management. The myth of time management. Hey, Sally, out in California, I appreciate you. I saw your message. She just texted me. Appreciate you jumping on. I appreciate you being supportive of me and just being a friend. I really do. We should connect soon. All right. So the myth of time management. Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of kids, I got my son coming over here. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Come here a minute. Come here real quick. Come here. You want to come say hi? Say hi. This is my son. This is Gideon. Oh, they can't see you on there, can they? There you go. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, bud. Go ahead, go out. Let me finish this, and then I'll come work with you. Okay?
And Dad, do you know?
Maybe go the other way, son.
Nico said, it's lunchtime.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, y'all. So that's one of my kids, Gideon, just jumping in here saying hi real quick. But hey, I got to make time for him, right? I got to make time. I got to make time for all those that I want to help. I got to make time for myself, for my wife. I got to make time for those that I work with and supporting them. So a lot of people say, hey, there's lots of books written about time management. Time management. I want to show everybody this. Grant says time management is a myth. It's a myth. We're not managing time. We're creating time. We're creating time. How do we create time? A lot of people on the surface might say you can't create time because the sun comes up, it rises and it sets, and 24-hour day, and that's all we get. That's all we get. What he's referring to is you need to dig deep on what Grant's saying. Everybody takes what the surface is. They make a quick judgment call right on the surface. Dig deep into the myth of time management. Switch your thinking from saying, okay, I need to manage my time, manage my schedule, to how can I make more of my time and my schedule? How can I multiply my efforts? How can you be a car salesperson and sell more, do more? I've seen car salespeople on social media, on LinkedIn and stuff like that are doing some amazing, awesome things. I'm not connected with them. I don't even think they follow Grant or anything like that, but they're doing some great stuff. I think I saw some, they're getting so busy, they had to hire people themselves, assistants, to help handle how much they're doing. Right? So think outside the box on this. All right. So the myth of time management, make time, not excuses. There was something I wanted to read to you out here. Yeah, here it is, right here. It says, Grant says, most people only work enough so that it feels like work. Whereas successful people work at a pace that gets such satisfying results that work is a reward. I really love this because most people think in terms of balance, and Grant talks about balance in this book. Most people think in terms of balance. I need to balance this. I need to with that, and I can only have so much of this and only so much of that because I need to balance my time and my effort, my energy, my sleep, all that stuff, right? What about abundance? What about having as much of everything as you can? And people say, oh, you can't do that. Well, what if you could? What would that look like? How could you? Before dismissing the idea of having abundance in every area of your life, try to think about how can you have abundance? What would that look like to have abundance spiritually, physically, mentally, and recreationally? What would that look like for you? How could that be possible? So, and with that, instead of balance, look here. Like I work for a goal. I don't work like most people might come to work and think, oh, hey, this is it for the rest of my life. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my job and cross my fingers and hope things gets better. And that's your life. Hey, if that's how you want to live life, then great. For me, I can't do that, man. I can't. I got to work towards something. I got to have like a purpose. If I don't have a purpose, man, my whole life just kind of, just if you're just like this, you're just living life, just waking up for no reason, just because you woke up, you got to go to work, going to work because somebody told you got to go to work so you could pay the bills. That's really not living life. Like, how about this? I was talking with somebody the other day, a sales manager, and they were talking about, the sales staff believing in themselves that they could go from where they're at to something greater. And we're just talking about, look, you really want to hire and you want to instill, you want to create this culture that, look, I don't want you working for me forever. I want you a year from now to be maxed out, to be topped out. I want you to be so successful here that in a year, we're begging you not to leave, because if you leave, there's a ton of revenue that's going to go with you. We want you to be so successful with us that you can go from here onto something greater and bigger. Like, instill that, create that culture in your employees. Like, you want them to be successful, wildly successful. You want them to come to work, not to just work. You want them to come to work to be successful. Because if they are being successful, think about it. If you had 10 salespeople and they were maxing out, what would that do for you as a business owner or a sales manager? You'd be through the roof. You'd be amazing. You'd be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then guess what? If you're doing that for your people, if you're instilling that type of culture, it's going to attract others that want that same thing. It's going to attract top talent. You're not going to have to go look for it. It's the word of mouth, the word on the street. They're going to hear. They're going to be like, hey, go work for that dealership. Hey, go check out them. Hey, when they get an opening, you need to be there. Like, it's a coveted position, right? So going back to making time or making excuses, you need to find a way to help your folks and also help yourself make time, not excuses. Don't manage time, right? You don't want to sit there and say, okay, well, I need to give up this so I can do this. I got to limit this so I can have some of that. How can you do it all? All right. All right, y'all. Hey, I just want to jump on here and talk about that. Go to work, not to work, but to work towards something. It's when you're just going to work and you're not working towards something that you start down this road of, I don't have time, making excuses. I don't know if I can do that, right? Let's kill the excuses. Let's create some time. All right, y'all. Have a good day. I'll be on later on today. Plan on at 5:05 p.m. Eastern time today. Jumping back on, seeing if we can handle some more closes. All right. Take care.